Namaste and welcome to Tridevi Chamunda Mandir in Denver, Colorado. This is Yamajit, and thank you so very much for joining me for our Friday Puja and Satsang. And tonight I'm going to be sharing with you a short sadhana to the goddess Vajrayogini, the female Buddha, the personification of that feminine Buddha energy. So again, welcome and namaste. Quick announcement. So this coming Tuesday at 7 o'clock for our Tuesday satsang, I'll be sharing with you a meditation based on the Mahakali Chalisa, that is the 40 verses to Mahakali. So I'd like to say a little something about the sadhana that we're going to be doing this evening. This is really the first Tibetan sadhana that I've ever done. This was beginning several years ago, and it really helped me to fall in love with that type of sadhana process. Because what deity yoga involves is you visualizing yourself as the deity. So really something that is in true tantric fashion. You're not going to the temple, you're not doing the satsang simply to worship some external presence, but you're actually doing the sadhana to become the deity, and then letting that experience reflect outward in your day-to-day practices. So I'd like to say welcome and namaste to Elizabeth and to Kim and to Sky. Thank you so very much for joining me. And anyone else who happens to be tuning in, please feel free to also say hello using the chat function on your screen. I'd like, before we begin, to refer to our altar here. And the first thing is a painting in the background of my paintings, and it's a very simple Vajrayogini yantra. And it's really just composed of a single character, single Tibetan character, and it represents the seed mantra Vam. And some of you might know Vam is also the seed mantra for the second chakra. So certainly a very creative center, generative center. And it is also the seed syllable for Vajrayogini. And we'll be chanting this from time to time during this sadhana. There's a statuette of Vajrayogini, and I wanted to go into a little more detail about what we're seeing. So starting from the top, she's wearing a crown of 5 skulls, which represents the transmutation of our inner poisons into wisdoms. She's holding a kapala or skull cup filled with either blood or nectar. This represents the transformation of consciousness. In her other hand, she is holding a kartika, also known as a driguk. This is a flame blade that could be used in a sky burial ceremony. And this represents the cutting away of ego attachments, those needless things that we become attached to that hold us back from really expressing who we truly are. The driguk has a Vajra on the top, a lightning symbol, so divine force. There's a hook on the blade, and that's the divine's ability to hook our attention. This particular Vajrayogini, which I have on our altar, she's also supporting a trident, and a little more traditionally, rather than a trident, she would be holding a katvanga or skull staff. And on the Khatvanga, there are 3 heads, one freshly cut, one in a state of decomposition, and one that is totally skeletonized. And this again represents the shedding away of those things in our lives that have become totally needless to us, or things that we've outgrown and no longer need. And it also very much represents mastery over change rather than fearing it. Very often the Khatvanga has 2 banners attached to it. And those 2 banners represent Ida and Pingla Nadi, the left and right energy channels, that is the lunar and solar, or receptive and dynamic energy channels. And so the staff of the Khatvanga itself represents Sushumna Nadi. So the main channel which Kundalini energy is going to travel in the course of meditation. Vajrayogini is very often nude, so the universe is her clothing. All things are part of her. She wears a necklace of 50 skulls, and these represent the 50 characters of the Sanskrit alphabet, hence representing the power of both the word and especially the power of the mantra. And then she is standing on 2 figures. In the back leg, she's trotting on a goddess Kalaratri, meaning night of darkness. And then her front foot is upon Lord Bhairab, or Bhairava, and also known as Mahakala. And this is the wrathful form of Shiva. And she is standing upon a sun disk, which in turn is on a lotus, and the lotus representing enlightenment, wisdom, really the process of achieving enlightenment. I have an ornamental pond in my backyard, and we're starting to see the first lily pads of the year appearing. And think of how the lotus and other water lilies grow from the muck and the mud at the bottom of the pond, reaching upwards toward the light and then blooming on the surface of the water. Really the flowering of our full potential. So to go into a little more specifics about this particular sadhana, the official title is A Short Sadhana Condensing the 11 Yogas of Vajrayogini, and I've adapted this to use as guided meditation for groups. So it's according to the pure and unbroken lineage tradition of the Indian Mahasiddha Naropa. You maybe have heard of Naropa. He lived from 1016 to 1100 in the Common Era. And this particular sadhana is written by one of a disciple of the Naropa lineage. It's composed by Kyabje Pabonka Rinpoche, who lived from 1878 to 1941. So it's a short sadhana of condensing the 11 yogas. So the first 3 yogas, the first 3 practices, are ones that are actually done before beginning the sadhana. And so something you might want to do after doing this practice tonight is on another day replaying this broadcast and giving yourself a chance to do the first 3 yogas. And so the first yoga is the yoga of sleep. And that is, as you're lying in your bed, ready to drift off to sleep, you're thinking about the Divine Mother. And then yoga of waking of awakening is the second yoga. When you wake up in the morning, you also take some time and contemplate the Divine Mother and her presence in your life. And then the yoga of nectar, the third, you're doing the same thing while you're taking your first nourishment of the day. But I'm just going to go through what the other yogas, the other chapters of this sadhana are. So The first one is the refuge. So essentially, we're putting our trust in those things that are most sacred to us. We're requesting blessings from those outer objects of refuge: Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, which is the community, our gurus, our teachers. The next is generating bodhicitta. This is essentially, we're making the sankalpa that we are doing this practice not just for ourselves, but for all sentient beings. Then the yoga of guru visualizing the merit field. And in this one, I've adapted a little bit. I'm going to invite you to visualize a teacher in your own life in this part of the practice. So when you're instructed to visualize your guru, think of somebody that you've learned some valuable lessons from, someone very important to you in that part of your life. Then requesting blessings from the merit field. So again, we're asking for the blessings of our teacher and all those sacred forces around us. Oh, and namaste to Mary. I'm so glad you joined us. Then receiving the yoga of generating oneself into deity. This is the real powerful part of it. So you're going to be invited to visualize yourself as Vajrayogini. And that's why just these last few minutes, I went through the details of her imagery. Donning of body armor is the next. And this is a kavacham type of meditation. You're visualizing energies, different energies and mantras in different parts of the body. And then as Vajrayogini, you're performing the function of purifying all living beings, and that's going to be part of the visualization. And likewise, what goes around comes around. Through doing that practice, you yourself are receiving those blessings. Then there's the yoga of verbal and mental mantra recitation. So we're going to repeat a mantra that's very important to this form of the Divine Mother. And then we essentially condense our awareness from the broad to the most simple. Really, we're just condensing ourselves down to the finest point of light, letting go of attachments, letting go of distractions. And then once again, we visualize ourselves in the form of Vajrayogini. And there's another body armor meditation. Get to the next page here. And then we're doing a final dedication of our work. And this will conclude with doing a very simple puja to the deity and praising the deity, and then a final dedication, declaring again who we're doing this work for. So that's our practice in a nutshell. And it's just wonderful to see so many of you joining me. It looks like I've got 8 people joining right now. So I hope you really enjoy this and find it as powerful as I have. And really, beginning with this very simple sadhana, it has taken me very far and has really opened me to other similar practices like the Cho practices. So with that, I invite you to find a comfortable seated position. And Jagesh, welcome and namaste. Find a position where your back can be straight. If you're Sitting on your mat, you might want to have a cushion under your hips to tilt the pelvis a little bit so your spine is straight. If you're seated in a chair, make sure it's a straight back chair with your feet flat on the floor. You could also, if it's more comfortable for you, lie on your back and do this practice in Shavasana as well, kind of like you might do a Yoga Nidra. But as so many of these practices, there's not a right or wrong way necessarily to do it or experience it. Just open your receptivity and allow the words of the meditation, the mantras that will be recited, the sounds of the instruments which I've added, just let all of those things guide your consciousness to where it needs to be at this moment. So close your eyes, let your hands rest comfortably on your lap if you're sitting up, or if you're in Shavasana, let your palms be upward toward the sky. With your eyes closed, begin breathing deeply. Letting go of the cares and concerns of the day, the thoughts of yesterday, the thoughts of tomorrow. Let your awareness rest in the present moment. Just be here. Just be now. And focusing on your heart center, take a moment to connect with whatever form of the Divine Mother you're closest to. Because Vajrayogini is really all of the mothers. And if you'd like, maybe think about some part of your life that could use some divine intervention at this point. And you can also think of someone close to you who's also in need, that the energies of this practice might help. And just acknowledge that in doing tonight's practice, you're taking an important step toward healing, toward resolution, toward insight and understanding. So just continue breathing deeply and just allow yourself to be guided. Om Bam. We and all sentient beings equal in number to the extent of space. From this time forth until enlightenment is reached, we go for refuge in the glorious sacred gurus. We go for refuge in the fully enlightened Buddhas. We go for refuge in the sacred Dharma teachings. We go for refuge in the Sangha community. Pei. We and all sentient beings equal in number to the extent of space. From this time forth until enlightenment is reached, We go for refuge in the glorious sacred gurus. We go for refuge in the fully enlightened Buddhas. We go for refuge in the sacred Dharma teachings. We go for refuge in the Sangha community. Pay. We and all sentient beings, equal in number to the extent of space, from this time forth until enlightenment is reached, we go for refuge in the glorious sacred gurus. We go for refuge in the fully enlightened Buddhas. We go for refuge to the sacred Dharma teachings. We go for refuge to the Sangha community. Pay. We prostrate to and take refuge in the gurus and the three precious gems, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, and request you please to bless our mind streams with waves of inspiring strength. Once we have attained the state of Buddhahood, we shall free all beings from the ocean of samsara's sufferings. We shall lead them all to the bliss of full enlightenment. It is for this purpose we shall practice the stages of Vajrayogini's path. Pay. Once we have attained the state of Buddhahood, we shall free all beings from the ocean of samsara's sufferings. We shall lead them all to the bliss of full enlightenment. And for these purposes, we shall practice the stages of Vajrayogini's path. Pay. Once we have attained the state of Buddhahood, we shall free all beings from the ocean of samsara's sufferings. We shall lead them all to the bliss of full enlightenment. It is for these purposes we shall practice the stages of Vajrayogini's path. Pay, pay, pay. Pay. In the space before us on a jeweled throne, supported by 8 lions, on a multicolored lotus and moon disk, is your personal guru. Your guru has a red-colored body with 1 face and 2 arms, with the right hand playing a damaru drum that beats with the sound of bliss and emptiness, and the left hand holds a skull cup filled with wisdom nectar. With the left elbow, your guru supports a Katvanga skull staff. Your guru sits with legs crossed in the Vajra position, adorned with 6 bone ornaments. Your guru is vibrant in the prime of youth. Pay. Your guru becomes the essence of your refuge. We make request to you, O precious guru. You are the essence of Buddhahood. We request you please to bless our mind streams with waves of inspiring strength. Pay. We make request to you, O precious Guru. You are the essence of Buddhahood. We request you please to bless our mind streams with waves of inspiring strength. Pay. We make request to you, O precious Guru. You are the essence of Buddhahood. We request you to bless our mind streams with waves of inspiring strength. Pay. 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 Our gurus melt into the form of red light, which enters through the crowns of our heads, dissolving into enlightened consciousness. Dissolving into enlightened consciousness. Our hearts form the syllable E. Comes a red ball of light, inside of which forms the syllable Ah. Arises a white moon disk. At the center of the moon disk is the red syllable BAM. Around the edge of the moon disk, arranged counterclockwise, stands the mantras. Om, 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 Sarva Buddha Dakinye Vajra Varninye Vajra Varochinye Hum, 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 pay, 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 svaha. Om, 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 Sarva Buddha Dakinye Vajra Varninye Vajra Varochinye Hum, 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 pay, 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 svaha. Om, 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 Sarva Buddha Dakinye Vajra Varninye Vajra Varochinye Hum, 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 pay, 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 svaha. Light rays emanate from the mantra and fill our entire bodies. Our body, speech, and minds are purified of all forms of sickness, harmful spirits, unwholesome karmas, and obscurations. Our bodies completely transform into balls of red light. Pay. From that complete transformation, we rise in the bodily form of venerable Vajrayogini, standing on a lotus and sun disk. Outstretched right leg treads upon the breasts of the red goddess Kalaratri. Our bent left leg we tread on the back, a black Bhairava, who is on his stomach with his head facing backwards. Our body is red in color, with a brilliance like the fire of the aeon of destruction. We have one face and two arms, and we have three eyes, which look upwards toward Dakini land. With our right hand we hold a downward-facing, outstretched, curved knife, marked with a Vajra. With our left hand we hold aloft a skull cup, filled with the nectar of wisdom, which we partake with our upturned mouth, which we partake with our upturned mouth. With our left shoulder we support a skull staff, marked with a Vajra ornament, from which hangs a Damaru bell and triple banner. Our glistening black hair covers our backs down to our waists. We are in the prime of our youth. Our desirous nipples stand erect, and we experience ever-enhancing bliss. We have dried human skulls adorning our heads. We wear a necklace of 50 dried skulls. Naked we are adorned with the 5 mudra ornaments, which are surrounded by the fire of awareness. At our navel is a red Om Bam. At our heart a blue Ham Yam. At our throat the white syllables Hreem Mom. At our forehead a yellow Hreem Hreem. At the crown of our heads a green Hum Hum. And at all of our limbs smoke-colored Pei Pei Pei. From the mantra at our hearts, light rays emanate, radiating from the pores of our skins, reaching all sentient beings. Light rays purify them both. Their unwholesome karmas and delusions, together with their imprints, and transform all into Vajrayogini fame. Light rays emanate from the syllable bomb at the level of our hearts. We see ourselves as Vajrayogini, encircled by all the spirits and yoginis of the 10 directions, and all sentient beings are instantly transformed into venerable Vajrayoginis. Then they dissolve into ourselves. Then they dissolve into ourselves. Zahum Bam Ho. Om Yoga Shuddha Sarva Dharma Yoga Shuddham. Om Yoga Shuddha Sarva Dharma Yoga Shuddham. Om Yoga Shuddha Sarva Dharma Yoga Shuddham. Pay. We are the nature of the yoga, of the purity of all things. Pay. Inside the center of our hearts is a moon disk. In the center, which is the syllable bomb, encircled with a red mantra mala, circling counterclockwise. From these rays of red light emanates, cleansing all living beings of their karmas and delusions, and making offerings to all the Buddhas. They bring back the Buddha's blessings in the form of rays of red light, which dissolve into the syllable Vam, together with the mantra mala. Thus blessings of our mind streams, with waves of inspiring strength. Thus blessing our mind streams, with waves of inspiring strength. Om, 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 Sarva Buddha Dakinye Vajravaninye Vajravirochinye, Hum, 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 Pei, 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 Sva. Om, 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 Sarva Buddha Dakinye Vajravaninye Vajravarochinye, Hum, 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 Pei, 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 Sva. Om, 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 Sarva Buddha Dakinye Vajravaninye Vajravirochinye, Hum, 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 Pe, Sva. Light rays emanate from the syllable Bam, together with the mantra mala at our hearts, and pervades all the three realms, pervading all three realms. The formless realm dissolves into the upper parts of our bodies in the forms of ray of blue light. The form realm dissolves into the middle parts of our bodies in the form of rays of red light. The desire realm dissolves into the lower part of our bodies in the forms of rays of red light. We as well melt into the light in stages, from above and below. We then dissolve into the void that dissolves into the moon disk, that dissolves into the mantra mala, that dissolves into the syllable Bam, that dissolves into the crescent moon, that dissolves into a point of light, which grows smaller and smaller, and dissolves into the clear light of emptiness. Pay. And within the sphere of emptiness, we instantly arise again as Venerable Vajrayogini. Pay. At our bodily places arise moon discs. At our navel, a red Om Bam. At our heart, a blue Ham Yam. At our throats, a white Reem Mom. At our foreheads, the yellow syllables Reem, Reem. And at the crowns of our heads, green Hom, Hom. And at our limbs, smoke-colored Pay, Pay. Om Shumbani Shumba Hom Hom Pay. Om Grina Grina Hom Hom Pay. Om Grina Paya Hom Hom Pay. Om Manayo Bhagavan Vajra Hom Hom Pay. Om Shumbani Shumba Hom Hom Pay. Om Grina Grina Hom Hom Pay. Om Grina Paya Hom Hom Pay. Om Anayo Bhagavan Vajra Hom Hom Pay. By the merit of this practice, may we quickly achieve the Dakini and her powerful attainment. And may we lead all sentient beings without exception to this state. At the time of our deaths, may we be offered flowers, upheld umbrellas and banners, the music of cymbals and voices, and more. By Dharma protectors, by heroes and heroines, and all living things. And may we be led to reside in the land of the Dakinis. Within the sphere of emptiness appear the 5 nectars and 5 meats inside a skull cup. They transform into a great ocean of nectar, of pristine awareness. Om Ahom Ha-Hori. Om Ahom Ha-Hori. Om Ahom Ha-Hori. Them. From the Buddha realm, we invite Vajrayogini to be encircled by all the gurus, Yidams, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, heroes, Dakinis, Dharma protectors, and worldly protectors. Om Sarva Buddha Dakinye Vajravaninye Vajrayogini Hom 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 Pei 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 Svaha. Om 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 Sarva Buddha Dakinye Vajravaninye Vajrayogini Hom 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 Pei 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 Svaha. Om 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 Sarva Buddha Dakinye Vajravaninye Vajrayogini Hom 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 Pei 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 Svaha. Om Akado Mukam Sarva Dhammanade Nutpenatvatva Om Ahom Ve Soha. Om Akado Mukam Sarva Dhammanamede Nutpenatvatva Om Ahom Ve Soha. Om Akado Mukam Sarva Dhammanamede Nutpenatvatva Om Ahom Ve Soha. Bam. 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 Om Vajrayogini Sapadevada Agyam Ahom. We ought to offer water for sipping. Om Vajrayogini Sapadevada Padyam Ahom. We offer water for washing. Om Vajrayogini Sapadevada Pushpeya Ahom. We we offer flowers. Om Vajrayogini Sapadevara Tupe Ahom. We offer incense. Om Vajrayogini Sapadevara Aloke Ahom. We offer light. Om Vajrayogini Sapadevara Kande Ahom. We offer fragrance. Om Vajrayogini Sapadevara Navidye Ahom. We offer food. Om Vajrayogini Sapadevara Shabda Ahom. We offer music. Om Vajrayogini Sapadevara Puja Ahom. We offer our devotion. Jema, Jema, Jema. Om Vajrayogini Sapadevara Om Ahom. We prostrate to you, glorious Vajrayogini, controller of all things, possessing the 5 pristine awarenesses and the 3 Buddha Kayas. You protect living beings and all living beings. We bow Vajrayogini, which eliminate from your being, who are engaged in worldly affairs, and cut off our bondage to illusion, and cut off our bondage to illusion. Om Vajramu. The wisdom being guests for the offerings return now to their own abodes. The commitment beings then dissolve back into us. By the merit of this, may we achieve the Dakini's powerful attainment, and may we lead all living beings without exceptions to this state. By remembering Vajrayogini, suffering of the heart is eliminated. If one meditates with perseverance, the great state of enlightenment, Mahamudra, will be easily bestowed in this life. May all sentient beings achieve the supreme and mundane attainments of the Supreme Dakini. Pay. 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 So I hope you enjoyed that. Someone mentioned the sound was off, and I just put a connection a little bit better. Just made a connection. One of the jacks, or the connections, was starting to come out of the jack. I got that pushed in. Hopefully, that restored the sound. Pardon, pardon me. I'm still getting over a cold. At least I didn't cough during the sadhana. So I hope you enjoyed that. And as always, take some time, some quiet meditation before resuming your daily activities. And also, in the days ahead, look for those subtle changes that may come about from doing this sadhana. Flashes of insight, for example, maybe just feeling more at peace. And I would invite you to, on another night, the night before, do a little meditation on the Divine Mother before going to sleep. Do a little meditation on the Divine Mother upon waking. Meditate on the Divine Mother while taking your first nourishment of the day. And then replaying this sadhana and doing the meditation again and see if you notice any difference. Especially want to thank Sky, and Jigesh, and Mary, and Kim, and Elizabeth for being here, and everybody else who may be tuned in, and those of you who may be watching the recording later. I know you can replay this broadcast anytime, whenever you'd like. And I look forward to you joining me 7 o'clock on Tuesday for the Mahakali Chalisa. Join live on YouTube. You can in person and join us. 1260 South Xavier Street in Denver, Colorado, 80219. And again, I say thank you, as does our sadhana kitties. There we go. There's Frankie. And of course, many of you know Jinx. And just have a wonderful night and a wonderful few days ahead. Jai Mata Di. Jai Mata Di. Jai Mata Di. Jai Ma. And good night.